Be bold, be brave, be extraordinary, be vulnerable, be real, be curious, be true, be you. Welcome to Trusting Your Gut with world-class energy intuitive Katherine McIntosh, a show designed to awaken you to enjoy the process of evolving, have fun along the way, and learn to listen to those silent in-between moments. You are the expert of your own life, and nobody knows more about the next steps to take in your journey than you. So please, listen to your gut and discover what's waiting for you to explore. Here is your host, Katherine McIntosh.
All right, my magical friends. So, welcome to today's episode. I am very excited. And last week, we were supposed to do an episode all about the power you have to influence your body. And it's interesting that that was the topic because last week I had my family in town for 10 days and they stayed in my house. And I have a pretty small house in Aspen. Homes in Aspen are sometimes like apartments in New York City. There are also obviously much larger homes, but a lot of us live in smaller versions of homes. And so in my small little space, I had my family here, and they were here for 10 days. And by towards the end of that, I didn't get sick, but my body literally just laid in bed for like 2 or 3 days and just slept. And we will do that show at some point in the future. I think we're slated to do it on December 18th. But today we have a different show for you today, something that I'm really excited about. And for those of you going into the holiday season, maybe you just, spent the holidays with family, are about to spend the holidays with family and loved ones. I wanted to talk about a topic that might be really pertinent to you and hopefully give you some tips and tricks. But I'm going to go off the cuff and share some downloads with you about what I believe is happening on the planet right now and some special sort of things to be aware of, and also what you can do to sort of rev up your energy for now and really get yourself into a clear space to begin 2024 aligned in a way that allows you to speed up your ability to create the future and the present and the now that you'd like to be living. So, for today's topic, I'm going to talk about it a little bit and then we'll go into the download. And so this topic today is beware of your people pleasing tendencies over the holidays. And it was really brilliant to have my family for 10 days in my house. We had an amazing time, not without getting a little triggered, having some, deep, powerful conversations that led to some healing moments. But we tend to feel bad about saying no to people when in reality, it's not the best time for us to say a yes, right? And we can all overextend ourselves, overpromise, and sort of stretch ourselves thin because we want to be everywhere all at once. So, all the parties, all the gatherings, all the festivities. And I want to invite you to consider that perhaps the most powerful thing that you can do right now is to be aware of your people pleasing tendencies and to kind of hone it in. Starting in February, I'm going to be teaching a class to help those of you that might tend towards people pleasing tendencies And what I've discovered is when you are a chronic people pleaser, so you worry about what other people think, you're afraid of disappointing others, you recognize that you get scared to sort of take risks or go out on your own, you're always worried about other people rather than being worried about yourself, it can have a lot of damaging effects. It can sort of damage your nervous system. It can suppress your metabolism. It can have you yo-yoing with your weight and your body. It can cause a lot of physical pain. But I find that one of the biggest things that it does is it stresses out your cortisol levels. And when your cortisol levels are stressed, usually your dopamine isn't as likely to, sort of fire in a proper manner. Your serotonin levels aren't as optimal. And that can really have a big impact on how we're eating, on what we're eating, a huge impact on our energy levels, and a huge impact on our ability to thrive. And so I want to invite you to consider that perhaps people pleasing and worrying about what other people think you is not the best way to go about your holiday season. The holidays are meant to find joy, to be in the present moment, to be grateful for where you are and what you have. And if you're constantly showing up for others and not quite showing up for yourself, it can be quite depleting, not just on your energy levels, but on your ability to create your future. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about um, this thing that I believe is happening. So this is just my own personal download. I've kind of been resistant of bringing out new content, new information. Um, the downloads and the hits that I get, because I usually get that information, from others and from videos, from teaching classes and working with people all over the world. But this particular one is something that I think there's an opening, and I think it would be beneficial for all of you, for those who resonate. And so what I believe started happening a couple of weeks ago is what I'm calling this portal that is open and opening, and open for those of you that are constantly working on yourselves to evolve, constantly desiring to elevate your energy, constantly desiring to create more, constantly desiring to find your purpose in the world. And what I believe happened is a couple weeks ago, this portal opened. And what it's doing is it's an invitation to get you into total alignment with your present self and with your future self. And what I mean by that is the dreams that you have for your life, there is a door open for you to really have access to building momentum, so that coming in the new year, your momentum will really be quick. It'll be rapid. Transformation will happen really quickly. Creation will happen really quickly. Abundance will come in really quickly. But this is the time period from about 2 weeks ago to maybe about the beginning of the new year. So the first or second week in January, there is this energy open. And what I believe is happening is that it's forcing those of you that are ready and willing and able to get in alignment with what I'm calling your new truth. And what I mean by that is sometimes we can hang on to old versions of ourselves, old things that we think we wanted or that we thought were our truth that actually aren't. And in this process, we're being called to get very clear on our desires, very clear on our own little universe, which you could also refer to as a reality. You could also refer to it as a vortex, and to let go of any energies in your physical, mental, and emotional field that are not in the vein of your truth. And, what I think is happening during this portal time is we're being tested by the universe to see if our wishes and our desires and our requests of the universe and our requests of ourselves, if we're really serious about it. And so, what I believe is happening is we're being tested. And I've been working with clients all over the world, and I'm watching this familiar theme repeat in almost all of their worlds. And that theme is they think they've made progress, and it almost feels like two steps back, or they've made progress and then something happens, right? Or they made progress, and this happened for me when my family was here. I had to sleep for 3 or 4 days during the end of my family's visit and also after they left. And what I think is happening is these old energies from our past are coming and knocking on our door. And it's not that you've gone 3 steps backwards or 5 steps backwards or 10 steps backwards. It's that the universe is bringing you old familiar energies. So exes might come back into your life. People that you've cut out of your life might come back. Old, sort of familiar habits or worries or fears might come back, and you might feel stuck, right? Or maybe old body pains or a diagnosis that you healed might feel like it's coming back. And what I believe is happening is that the universe is testing us to see, do you really want what you say you want? Right? And so we can label it as, oh, what did I do to bring this old energy back in my life? Or you could go, oh, the universe is used to me choosing a familiar pattern that isn't in my best interest. I'm now changing my vibration. I'm raising my vibration. I'm elevating my spirit. And now this old energy is coming back into my life or trying to come back in my life. And I believe that there's nothing that you're doing wrong. There's nothing that you did to invite it in. You're not having bad karma. You are literally being tested by the universe to see if you're serious about what you say you want. Right? And so I'm watching this in a lot of people's lives is, they might be offered an old job, or they might think to go back to an old job, or they might have an ex boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife try and come back into their lives. And it could be sneaky. So it could be in the form of another person, right? It could be, an ex trying to win you back, but you've been there, done that. Event ultimately how that goes, right? And so this new energy that we're calling forth is to really work on your own personal channel. So to not people please, to not worry about what other people think of you. And there's a lot of energy around it. I don't know if you can feel it, but there's a lot of energy around it. And whenever there's a lot of energy around something, it is um, an invitation to get clear with ourselves. It's an invitation to hold on to or build a new foundation. And it's an invitation to let go of old, the old paradigm that no longer works. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. And so this portal that's open, what it's actually doing is inviting you to get really clear on what is your truth, right? And one of the exercises that I've been doing in order to hone into this thing we call vortex, or you could call it your own reality or your universe, however you want to refer to it. This vortex is the way to get there is to take out a journal, right? I have a journal that I probably write in almost every day, and you take out that journal and you write down a list of things that you would like to manifest in this next year, right? What would you like to have as your reality? How do you want to spend your days? Do you want to be tied to a job you don't like? Would you like to have time freedom? Would you like to have financial freedom, right? If you could get as specific as possible, it's quite beneficial for this exercise. And you write down as many things as you possibly can. And once you write those things down, you're going to get a sense of, okay, now that I've written down this list of what I'd like to manifest and actualize and see as my reality in the coming year, how does that dream, how does it look? How does it sound? How does it smell? How does it feel? And what does it look like? And when you can write this down, what I realized in a coaching call that I did today is when you write this down, this is the beginning formula of um, of getting to understand your vortex, your reality, the way you see the world, the way the world works, not as you wished it to be, but as it is with inside of you. And when you can get that, it will literally change your reality. And I'm going to share some stuff. I'll share like an example of how to do that, which is you basically take a piece of paper, you write down some dreams that you have, right? And the way that I usually do it is in the present form. So here's an example, just going off the cuff. It's like, I'm so grateful, blank, right? I'm so grateful I live in my dream home in Austin, Texas. Or I'm so grateful I had the ability to travel whenever and wherever I want, right? I'm so grateful I got to hike Machu Picchu for 4 days. I'm so grateful I have amazing friends and family in my life. So you want to do it in the present moment. And then once you have that down, you're going to look at, okay, wow, what are the sounds, smells, touches, so feel like, looks like, and tastes like? What are some of those qualities, right? Sounds like, tastes like, smells like, looks like, and feels like. And when you write these qualities down, that is a window into your vortex. And I'm going to talk about the vortex in a second. It's a really important feature. Really important. And so I was having this coaching call today, and someone was asking me how to change something. And I said, well, you can't change it from where you're functioning, because where you're functioning, which was people pleasing tendencies, was she was worried about what other people thought of her. She was in constant pain. She felt like she was looping on an old pattern. She was looping on an old worry, right? She ignored her awareness, which is a familiar theme. And that 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 like you can't change your reality, right? When you are functioning, and I didn't see this until she asked the question, until when you are functioning, um not in your vortex. And so when you're looping, you're people pleasing, you're not in your vortex. When you feel powerful and like you're a superhero and you're in the present moment and you're enjoying what you're doing, right? Even if it's having hard conversations, that is you being in the vortex. And the vortex is literally this place where in these next 6 weeks you're going to want to be functioning from your world instead of from someone else's world, because you can't manifest the life of your dreams, you can't clear energies that are stuck in your field if you are functioning from somebody else's vortex. Okay. So let me share some qualities of things that, how does this work? So this is just an example, but what you want to do on the top of the page, right? And you can have it on the left hand column is just sounds like, right? And then some colons. Smells like, right? Tastes like, looks like, and feels like. And when you go into that, what you're doing is you're accessing and resourcing, right, your own reality's reference points for your life. And so, like, sounds like, I'll give you some examples. These are real examples. It says, my favorite songs, right? A crackling fire. This is sounds like. My favorite songs, a crackling fire, the sound of jets taking off in the air, right? A concert hall full of just music and amazing acoustical sound qualities. Okay. Also put the sound of Om, the sound of silence, the sound of peace, right? And so this all makes up, right, my personal vortex, right? When I do smells like, it smells like pine trees. It smells like fresh snow. It smells like a crackling love, or sorry, uh, what is that? I can't even read my own writing. Oh, a crackling fire, right? It smells like the North Woods, right? I grew up, spent my summers in the North Woods. You can see that I'm taking energies from my frame of reference. And so when I'm in my own reality, my vortex, right, it's easy to create. It's easy to not care what other people think. It's easy to have access to downloads and channeling. It's easy to have access to my intuition and my awareness. And so, for all of you out there that are struggling right now with your reality, with changing things that are no longer working, right? Now, remember, if old patterns creep up, or if old people from your past resurface after being gone for years or months, right? It is a perfect opportunity to practice getting yourself into your energy and getting yourself into your alignment. Pretty powerful. And so when you are functioning from your vortex, you will do what is required because you're being on energy. You're not trying to do an energy, you're being an energy. And being an energy, especially when you're in alignment, can create magic and miracles almost instantaneously. Yeah, it's pretty powerful work. And so we are going to take a break. We'll come back after the break and I'll share some things that you can do specifically to one, have access to your own vortex, to energize that vortex, right? And to get yourself in alignment so that come the new year, you are prepared for what's next. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and we'll be back after these messages.
Om Times TV.
Do you trust you? Do you trust your body? What if the key to unlocking the weight, pain, suffering, fear, anxiety, addictions, traumas, and sorrows was already inside of you? Learn to love the skin you are in so you can create the body, business, and life you love. Everyone always says you can't explain what Catherine does, you just have to experience it. From Hollywood actors to New York Times best-selling authors to some of the world's wealthiest and most successful, no two experiences are the same. For private sessions, online courses, live events, and the latest book Jack Canfield calls Game Changer and should be required reading for everyone, go to katherinemcintosh.com. KatherineMcintosh.com.
Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. Om Times Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, Om Times offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an Om Times magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on Om Times TV and broadcasting it across the extensive Om Times radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. Om Times. Open yourself to the possibilities.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
All right, my magical friends. So, welcome back from the break. We are talking about a couple things today. One of them being, beware of your people pleasing tendencies in the holidays because it really can tax your energy. It can wear you out, right? It can make you feel lethargic. It can sort of like backtrack you a little bit. And, I know before I started sort of living and doing this work, I would, come November and beginning of holiday season, kind of, drink too much, eat too much, and go, oh, I'll start everything next year. And what I believe is happening right now on the planet, this is just my own personal belief system. You can take any information that resonates with you. And if it doesn't resonate with you, you can toss it out. I have a lot of clients that say to me, Catherine, we always think you're full of baloney when you download or channel for us about like the future and what we think is happening. And when I'm working on their physical bodies, either in person or long distance, I was like, we always think you're full of baloney, but it always turns out to be true. And I'm like, I know. Welcome to my world. And in my world, my vortex, I used to think I was crazy because it didn't match anybody else's reality. My family didn't understand me. My friends didn't understand me. I didn't understand me because I didn't fit in and nothing really made sense. And so I went on this journey to try to make other people happy, to try to fulfill their needs. But at the end of the day, I was always left feeling like I wasn't getting something. I was left feeling exhausted or angry or frustrated, or it would show up and I would be passive aggressive, which is not a great quality to have. And so, people pleasing and what's happening right now on the planet is kind of, they kind of go hand in hand. And so, what I believe is happening and what has been happening for the last couple weeks and will probably continue to be happening for the next, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So into the new year is there is this portal that is open. And this portal is designed to help you get into alignment with the future that you'd like to be creating. And what's happening in this portal, because it's preparing you for evolution, because it's preparing you for a future you haven't yet created, because it's preparing you to be more present in every area of your life, what's also simultaneously happening as this portal is open is I also believe that old energies are trying to creep back in. It's not bad karma. You didn't do anything wrong. You're not at fault. It's the universe testing you to see, like, are you sure you want what you say you want? If so, we're going to test you. And so, people, and I'm watching this in a lot of my clients' lives as well as my own personal experience, and pretty much everyone I've been working with around the world, is they're being tested to see if they're for real. Are you going to move forward and build a new foundation and let go of your old foundation and your old belief systems and your old habits and patterns? And are you willing to let go so that you can elevate yourself to a new level of energy? And so, what's happening is exes are coming back in the picture, and it might not be the ex directly, but it might be someone connected to the ex. It might be a person that has the same tendencies as your ex. There's all these sneaky ways in which the past is trying to come back in, and it's trying to come back in so it can slow down your creative process. And so this portal is open because if you take the next 4, 5, 6 weeks to really focus and hone in on what your truth is and get yourself in alignment with that truth, then you, beginning in the new year, will be on a fast track towards enjoying your everyday experiences in an abundant manner that helps speed up the manifestation and the creation process, right? And so, the old me, as I was sharing earlier, used to, drink too much, eat too much, say, "Oh, I'll do my New Year's resolutions." And I think most of us know that that doesn't really work. You have to start now, today, implementing, getting clear, cleaning out, being willing to elevate your energy and move forward. And in order to do that, you have to be willing to not people please. You have to be willing to discover what your truth is. You have to be willing to sort of check in. What is your reality? And you can call it your reality. You can call it your universe. You can call it your vortex. You can call it whatever you want, but it's sort of the essence of who you are. And when you stay connected to that, it's easy to create. It's easy to make choices. It's easy to set boundaries. It's easy to let go of energies that no longer serve you. And so, right now is the best time to begin that process. And as you begin that process, you will be tested by the universe, by old energies, by old belief systems, by old habits and patterns. And you're going to be invited to see and to test yourself. What do you really want? Are you willing to go after it? Or are you, going to slide back into old things? And so I was working with some clients today, and one of them was like, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm moving 10 steps backwards." And I said, "What if you're not moving 10 steps backwards?" And she kept asking, "Well, how do I get rid of?" And I said, it's not so much a process of getting rid of, so much as it is a process of getting really clear on your universe, your reality, your vortex. And when you can get really clear on that, you focus on what is working, what you do have, how you do feel, but you can't do it if you're in somebody else's vortex. And so when these old energies and old belief systems and old patterns come into your world, you might be getting sucked into a vortex that isn't yours. And when you're sucked into a vortex that isn't yours, you won't feel like yourself. You'll feel like a victim, or like you're at the effect of people and energies. And you might be looping on an old pattern. And no matter how much you try and clear it or heal it or go to a coach or a therapist, you still feel looped into sort of a pattern that doesn't really serve you well. And so that is a really great clue or great hint that you are not in your own reality. You are getting sucked into an old vortex. So, how do you change it? You start to get really clear on your vortex. And so, we're going to do a little process, a little exercise. You can get out a pen and paper, and I want you to just write on that piece of paper the 5 senses, right? And so I have in here, my piece of paper that I've been writing and practicing. And the way that I get into this is I write, like, what do I want to create in the next year? And I write everything down. So I want to have more time freedom. I want to have more flexibility. I'm just giving examples, right? It's not actually what's on my list currently, although that is always in my world, to have more freedom in every area, right? I want to be really clear. I want to make a bigger impact in the world. I want to have meaningful experiences. I want every day to feel like it's a day of abundance instead of a day of lack or wrongness. And so you start to get really clear on what is the life that you want to create in the next year, and get specific. Right? Maybe you want to have more, instead of like, I want to lose 10 pounds. The truth might be, I want to feel alive and healthy and sexy in my body. I want to make food choices that are light and expansive for my lifestyle choices, right? I want to be able to move my body. I want to get out in nature. I want to have meaningful conversations. You might want to move locations, or buy a new house. It doesn't matter what you put on your list, but give yourself permission to dream. Not dream from, let me ask for what I think is practical, but let me dream, so that when I'm writing this down, it feels like, wow, I don't know how that's going to happen, right? And once you have that list created, so you can grab a pen and a paper, and you can start to write down, what would I like to create in the next year? And the way that you're going to write this down is, you're going to go, I'm so grateful now that, or I'm so grateful I have, or I'm so grateful I created. So you do it with gratitude in the present moment, talking as if it's already happened. And then once you write that list, you're going to take out another piece of paper or open to a new page in your journal or notebook, and you're going to write down the 5 senses, right? And so you're going to do sounds like. So you can see on my piece of paper, I have sounds like, I have smells like, I have looks like, right? And then I write sort of it. And so it's sounds like, smells like, tastes like, feels like, and looks like. And then once you have your list of everything you'd like to create in the next year, and you can keep adding to it, dream big, right? Dream big. Maybe you want to move to Europe, or if you live in Europe, you want to move to the US, or if you are in an unhappy marriage, you either want to heal your marriage, or dissolve your marriage, right? Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to have the confidence to put yourself out in the dating world again. I mean, it doesn't matter, but what matters is when you write it down, it feels true for you. And dream big. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you write on this piece of paper, wow, it smells like, it sounds like, it tastes like, it looks like, and it feels like. And then you're going to start to write, right, based on your dream list and all the things you have on your list. What does your dream life sound like? Right? Maybe it sounds like your favorite song. Maybe it sounds like the wind in the trees. Maybe it sounds like the ocean waves crashing against the beach. Maybe it sounds like, the stars, the night sky, or the animals. Maybe it sounds like, and this might sound crazy, how it feels to hug a tree, right? So you're going to just put it on. Maybe it's Christmas music. What does it smell like? Maybe it smells like pine trees, right? Or pine cones. Maybe it smells like roses. It doesn't matter. Maybe you have a favorite. Maybe it smells like key lime pie, right? Doesn't matter. But the point is when you write down these using your five senses, sounds like, smells like, tastes like, looks like, and feels like, now you just opened up your world to what your vortex actually is, right? It's your frame of reference. And when you're in your vortex, you're not people pleasing. You're not worrying about what other people think. You're not stressing out your cortisol. You're not taxing your hormones. You're not in fight or flight in your nervous system. And you can be a clearer channel and a clearer vessel for creating your future. And so we've been taught by psychology and a lot of other modalities that if something isn't working in your life, you better focus on what is wrong, what you need to get let go of, what's the story from your past. And I truly believe that although sometimes going into your past is beneficial for a healing moment and a transformational moment, constantly getting stuck with stories from your past will not propel you forward to your future. It just won't. And so the quickest way to be able to do that is to get into your vortex, get clear on what your vortex is, right? And start to focus on that which brings you peace, that which brings you the feeling or sensation of expansion, right? Like one of my favorite sensations is this idea of like, an exhale. And if you are able to exhale, when you do, you drop yourself back into your own, like connecting with your body, connecting with your spirit, connecting with that invisible world that you're currently creating but can't yet see. And so it is vital now more than ever. I believe there's a portal open, as I've spoken to, that right now is a great time for you to get really focused on what are the things that expand your energy. So it's not about clearing the old, although that can naturally happen when you focus on forward momentum, when you focus on future creation, when you focus on being in the present moment. The past can heal and leave, and you can let go and surrender. And there are plenty of ways to do that. Plenty of ways to do that. And only you know what's going to be the best way for you. So it might be walking in nature, right? It might be doing somatic exercise. It might be meditating. It might be dancing, listening to music, going to a sound bath. Lots of different things that you can do to reconnect to your truth, right? Your truth. Because, my friends, if you can't connect to your truth and you're always in other people's worlds, always worried about making them happy, it's going to be really hard to propel yourself forward. And right now, with this portal open, it is a chance to get clear, to clear out old patterns and habits and behaviors and people, and to prepare yourself for a life that you have not yet experienced. And so the holidays are coming up. Beware of your people pleasing tendencies, which will show up in the form of you worrying what others think of you, you sort of editing yourself, editing your truth, you feeling passive aggressive or frustrated in relationship, or trying to please your partner, but you're not feeling satisfied in the end. All of those things will show up, right? And it's amazing and great to become aware of it. And you can do some research on Google, like, hey, what are the signs and symptoms of people pleasing? And how do you get out of it? And you get out of it not by worrying about other people's worlds or realities, but by enhancing and energizing and focusing on your world and your reality. So, really powerful conversation. People pleasing, it is a bad habit that women, especially, have accidentally been entrained to people please. And so it'll feel like you are afraid of saying no. You're afraid of speaking your truth. You're afraid of having challenging conversations. You're afraid of just like going after your dreams. You're afraid of what your family and friends might think about you. All of those are people pleasing tendencies, and they can really wreak havoc on your health. They can damage your nerves or nervous system. They can wreak havoc on your heart. Like, so many people that I work with around the world come to me with some sort of a physical ailment, right? Or physical symptom. And they've already been to the doctor, or they've had surgery, or they've gone through therapy, and it hasn't quite yet changed. It's a clue you're a people pleaser. It's a clue you're probably getting sucked into somebody else's vortex, whether it be your family or a religion or a train or school of thought, and you're not able to be able to sort of navigate your own world. And so, my friends, now more than ever, we are being called, the planet is elevating. And in the elevation process, there also is a huge cleanup, a cleanup of old energies, a cleanup of old patterns and behaviors, a cleanup of what you thought you needed that you no longer need. And so I want to invite you to enjoy this time, to maybe do a little bit more self care than normal, maybe be willing to be selfish, be willing to say no, be willing to let go of disappointing others. You know, People being disappointed by your behavior, that is a great way for them to manipulate you into them getting what they want, instead of seeing that both of you can get what you want and both of you have your best interests at heart. If not, if you are surrounding yourself with people who are always disappointed by you and you feel sort of at the effect of their energies, it might be time to take a good hard look at your choices, at your life, at where you want to go, and about what you want to do moving forward. So take out a piece of paper, write down your dreams, take out a second piece of paper and write down the five senses, which is sounds like, smells like, tastes like, looks like, and feels like. I want you to write out, what does your dream life sound like? What does your dream life smell like? What does it taste like? What does it look like? And what does it feel like? And if you can write those down, those 5 senses will give you a window into the reality of your vortex. And so when you're in your vortex, you can make change happen. It doesn't feel heavy. You won't experience the anxiety or the depression or the worry. Usually, anxiety and depression and fear and worry and, sort of feeling like you're looping on old patterns and behaviors is usually a sign that you're getting sucked into somebody else's reality, somebody else's vortex, somebody else's wishes for you instead of your wishes for yourself. So that's all we really have for today, my friends. I want to thank you for being here. I will be teaching a live online class in February all about people pleasing and all about eradicating and firing the people pleaser in you so that you can be prepared to move your life forward so that you can live in the adventure of choice and abundance and gratitude so you can be present in the moment and take in the joys of life and living. We are about to enter a new year. And as always, it's a great opportunity to take stock of what does work in your life and what it's time to let go of. So I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in every week and listening. If this show resonates with you, if you think it would be something that people in your sort of social networks would benefit from this conversation, please feel free to tag us, to subscribe, to share the show on any social media platform, send it out. And if you want to send us a personal note, you can always check out my website at catherinemcintosh.com. You can contact us, reach out to us. You can get free content, free videos, free resources, all on my webpage. But thank you so much for being here and wishing you now more than ever the clarity to go after your dreams, the courage to never give up, and the sort of the chutzpah to go after your future and the life you'd like to create. So thanks for being here. I look forward to seeing you all next week. And thanks for listening to the show.
Catherine is not a medical practitioner nor a licensed therapist. She has strong opinions and will express them, and truly believes that you are your best advocate for any and every area of your life. If you need medical advice, please consult your physician.